Founded in 1769 by Spanish missionaries, San Diego has come a long way from its humble beginnings. After growing slowly throughout centuries, San Diego's population rapidly exploded in the 1880s thanks to the installation of several military bases. Today, we'll be exploring how San Diego has been planned by city planners and how its city design has contributed to its strength while also contributing to its greatest weaknesses. We'll then go over possible ways to redesign San Diego so it can eliminate as many of its weaknesses as possible. We'll first be going over San Diego's central business district, which is its urban core and most densely populated and economically vibrant area. We'll then expand outwards towards the city's suburbs and eventually towards its industrial areas and other places in the city. Afterwards, we'll be covering how San Diego's urban design has contributed to many of its problems and exploring ways to fix them by redesigning the city. Like many other cities across the United States, San Diego follows an urban planning model called the multiple nucleus model. In this model, the majority of the city's land area is devoted towards housing. In the center of the city, there is a downtown area called the Central Business District that is surrounded by large swaths of residential areas that have small pockets of industrial or commercial districts sprinkled between them. The majority of the city's manufacturing base is devoted towards light manufacturing, and there is very little heavy manufacturing in this model. This is reflected upon San Diego's largest industries, which are mainly service-based industries that do not create large or heavy products that need to be moved. As such, San Diego is very well represented by this model. Speaking of residential housing, San Diego is housing for people with all different types of incomes. However, this does not mean that housing for upper class, middle class, and lower class housing is distributed evenly. Most of the city's lower class housing is located in either near or in the city's urban core, or in the south of the city, along the Mexican border. Most of the city's upper class, and middle class housing is found further away in suburban areas. Dotted between these suburban areas are business districts where businesses have set up manufacturing or office-based operations. These places have been set up because as the city grew outwards, it became harder and harder for people from living in the suburbs to commute to the workplaces. As such, many businesses decided to set up their operations in these smaller business districts outside of the urban core so that the workers could travel less and work more. A good example of this is Forest Business Park, which was a business district set up near a housing area called Forest Ranch in Del Sur. This allowed people living in these two areas to work relatively close to their home and not have to travel for long amounts of time and distances to the workplace. The last place I'll be talking about is San Diego Central Business District. San Diego Central Business District is downtown San Diego, which is the most densely populated area in San Diego. In addition to being the most densely populated area of the city, it is also the wealthiest area in the city, and has the highest property price, some of the highest property prices in the entire city. This is because in the Central Business District is home to most of the city's administrative and commercial headquarters. As such, most of the heads of the operations of businesses and the government in the city are located within a very short distance to each other, which allows them to more easily communicate and express their ideas and coordinate on group projects. So much power and money in such short distance makes the city have enormous commercial value. Helps makes it extremely popular, very densely populated.
Okay, so gentrification and family homelessness is a big problem in San Diego. Around 30% of San Diego's city census tract have gentrified since 2000, and gentrification is a process by which lower income housing is repaired or replaced with higher quality and higher priced homes for middle class and affluent residents. So the unaffordability of housing is one major contributor to San Diego's housing crisis. The city of San Diego is home to the fourth largest concentration of homelessness in the country, including 1,550 individuals living in unhoused families. According to a report issued by the Corporation for Supportive Housing in October of 2019, San Diego's affordable housing production is far behind the needs of very low and moderate income households. And this is a big problem in San Diego, and I will go over the solutions that I've come up with to solve it. Okay, so ways to solve gentrification is aggressively building middle-income housing, reducing or freezing property taxes to protect long-time residents, and finally, changing the fair housing rules. So for aggressively building middle-income houses, new construction home prices are $550,000, and the city is would be good if we build a lot more of these middle-income houses. And next, reducing or freezing property taxes will help because major cities are considering tax programs to help retain long-time homeowners at risk neighborhoods. And taxes have grown by 10% or more, and it will help if we freeze these taxes for the low-income citizens. And lastly, if we change the fair housing rules, in order to provide resources disproportionately in at-risk minority neighborhoods. So right now, the fair housing rules don't promote equitable investment in at-risk neighborhoods, but we should change them so they do promote inequitable investment in risk neighborhoods. Next, San Diego is having a big affordable housing issues in San Diego, and San Diego has a lack of affordable housing due to higher income households spending less of their income on housing on average than lower income households. So spending money on housing for low income individuals becomes too much of a burden because it makes up too much of their total income. So to add on to this, Californians say housing affordability is a big problem. And the 71% of San Diegans who say so is higher than the rest of the state. Just 27% of households can afford the country's median home at $655,000. Low-income San Diegans must spend nearly their whole paycheck on rent. San Diego County has failed to build enough homes to keep pace with the rate of economic and population growth for many decades. That's not true for just San Diego, but it is a major problem in San Diego and California as a whole. So overall, the problem contributing to San Diego's ongoing housing crisis is a shortage of housing supply. So a way to fix this affordable housing issue is to have more construction. And it was recently pointed out in The Voice of San Diego that since 1950, new housing has represented an average of 3% of our region's housing stock in a given year. The number has been in decline for years, but has since bottomed out at its current rate below 1%. So in other words, we are short on housing because less housing is being built. So something we should consider is spending more money on building houses and other than other things that we are spending money on as a city of San Diego that aren't as necessary, because I believe that affordable housing is something that really should be fixed, as we will have less people roaming around the streets and we will have a lot more safe citizens in housing.